Hello, dear friends. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and the sea, for the devil has descended with great fury, knowing that his time is short. Revelation 12. Opinion piece. Time is short. Don't go astray. Time to prepare. Battle for our soul. There is a new energy. Crash landing scenario. The abused become abusers. Victims become executioners. No one can leave planet Earth. Consciousness is the password. Let's start. Humankind has very little time to prepare for what is to come. Consciousness is the password to enter the world of the fifth dimension. You possess this key the moment your conscience tells you, do it or fail. At that moment, you will be alone. No one will judge you or reward you, but will feel when it happens. It is the end of one era and the beginning of a new one, says Peter B. Mayer. People are impatient and their memory is short. Few are able to take a long-term view of what is happening. Everyone has become accustomed to living in the present and not focusing on what is to come. For many, it seems that nothing is changing. The corrupt are still in charge and control events, but it seems that way because they do not see everything that is happening. It is not that we have little time, but that we lose a lot of it, said Seneca. Quarantine. The Earth is now isolated from our cosmic family, with its great armada of invisible spaceships. No creature can leave the terrestrial sphere without permission. Those who try to escape to Mars have been sent back. All bases in the Moon and Mars are in the hands of the Federation and are inaccessible to the cabal. The coalition has all the information and allows itself the luxury of waiting for the perfect divine moment. At this moment, we are experiencing incredible turbulence and chaos on our planet. Everything is out of balance, but there will soon be a gradual return to balance. The Earth is being transformed by the higher light energy and will restore the balance intended at the time of creation. Some call it the fifth dimension, others the age of Aquarius, but everyone must prepare for this event, both physically and spiritually. Awakened people must be able to integrate incoming higher frequencies into their mind and body. Most of those who are trapped in their old fears block the arrival of these higher frequencies. They are victims who also become executioners and help keep the system that is breaking down alive. Behind the scenes, many awakened people are working tirelessly to free our planet by creating more light. We are now in a psychological war, the battle for our consciousness. The goal of the upcoming events is to create and ensure full transparency, prosperity, justice, and peace for everyone on Earth after many years. It is now or never, so act accordingly. Evolutionary projects. 5 great civilizations that existed before the universal flood reached incredible levels of technology and wisdom in their time. But all of these 5 evolved terrestrial races had one tragic thing in common. Just when all of this civilization had reached the peak of their evolution, a catastrophic event came along that completely wiped them out. All progress, 99% of civilization, all treasures and knowledge were instantly wiped off the planet. Each of these great civilizations that existed in different times were the same beings, and in the end, there was only one great civilization, with different names that spanned prehistory and later history. There is no doubt that we were there at all times, and every detailed memory of it all still remains within us, waiting to be remembered. In those ancient times, although humankind was very advanced in each of these civilizations, it seemed that they didn't have the ability to prevent their own destruction and extinction. Rules. The rules say that if you are knocked out of the game, you must get up and continue playing. Of course, the resilience of the great beings who came to Earth has always prevailed, even after being defeated many times. We remind you that you are still here today to finish what you started long ago. This time you have finally crossed the finish line, so cheer up. When archaeologists try to determine what happened to these ancient cultures, they will look at the evidence and say, it is as if these ancient races disappeared overnight. It is as if they disappeared without a trace in a single day. It is known that most of the stone structures, writings and creations of these ancient cultures were buried under 10 kilometers of sediment by the immense flooding of each cataclysm. The Absolute Father tells us more about these changes. Whereas before most people slept through the night until morning without waking up, now many people's sleep has become interrupted and restless. This is no coincidence, of course. At this time, the subtotal plane of the Earth has become a real battlefield for every awakened person. At the end of August 2024, this message was received from Matter. With the next solar wave, humanity's genetic code will change forever on December 21st, 2024. Economy. The stock market records the worst week of the year in a volatile start to September. The fall of the dollar takes the yuan to highs, but the weakness of China limits its momentum. China says its huge market is an opportunity and not a threat. The UN accuses the warring parties in Sudan of war crimes and crimes against humanity. In South Africa, they spoke about the typical actions of the BRICS in the financial sector. The BRICS bloc is expanding, leading to an increase in its influence in the global political arena, and it could create its own currency as an alternative to the dollar. USA. Nobel laureate Joseph Stiglitz says the Fed raised rates too quickly and now needs to cut them. X22 report. Employment figures are worse than initially thought. Trump proposes a sovereign wealth fund. Trump says he can see the game both clearly. He knows all the players, the good ones and the bad ones. This time, the dark side is not in control. Europe. Europe's economy survived dire prophecies, but now it must tackle trade with China, says Paolo Gentiloni. The ECB will remain calm on rates. They will be less aggressive than the market expects. Europe will cut its umbilical cord with Russia with the closure of the last Russian gas pipeline. Russia continues to sell liquefied gas to Europe, and its main client is Spain. The paralysis of investments in electric vehicles in Europe puts the future of the industry in jeopardy. The German economy receives a cold shower due to the recession in its automotive industry. Volkswagen plans to close plants in Germany as its economy is sabotaged. Spain. Rent prices hit record highs in Madrid and Barcelona. The IBEX, dragged down by Wall Street, loses 11,200 and cuts 2% in this week. In this week. The price of electricity falls this Sunday to the lowest level in 2 weeks and will cost €0 for 7 hours. The Catalan Fiscal Pact requires raising the state IRPF bracket by 30% in the rest of Spain. Andalusia, Galicia, and the Canary Islands, the regions most damaged by the Catalan Fiscal Pact. Americas. The president of the Supreme Court of Mexico joins protest against judicial reform. Faceless judges in Mexico. The reform of the judicial power includes anonymous judges to protect the identity of the magistrates. Dollarization is quite far away from Argentina, says an expert. More than a half of Argentines are poor. It is the most urgent problem in the country. Argentina's domestic consumption is collapsing. Many businesses are on the verge of bankruptcy. The Argentine government wants that it could veto more laws if they alter its economic course. Milei accuses Maduro and Lula of being tyrants. Milei will request an arrest warrant against Maduro for the International Criminal Court. Venezuela revokes Brazil as Argentina's diplomatic representative. González, Aznar, Rajoy, and up to 30 former Ibero-American leaders call for the immediate arrest of Maduro. Dozens of Ibero-American leaders informed the International Criminal Court of crimes against humanity in Venezuela. Panama deported 130 immigrants from India on a flight financed by the US. Colombia orders to kill Pablo Escobar's hippos. Ecuador registers a blackout in several regions of the country. The Bolivian Amazon region of Beni is declared a disaster due to forest fires. The Mashco-Piro attack forest workers with arrows in Peru. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.